Knights at the Round Table, a round table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody and welcome to the next episode of Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing about... oh my lord! I'm tired.
Are you okay?
Today we are discussing the 2017 live-action adaptation of the anime Fullmetal Alchemist. I am sitting at the table with Marjolaine, and I'm going to start with general impressions of the film. Marjo, how did you find it?
Well, I have two different opinions on this. As a film separately and as an adaptation.
Ah, okay. Let's hear them both. That's good, because I haven't watched the original, so I only have the opinion as a film.
Okay. As a film, I think it was meh. There's stuff that they could have done better, and I think that they would have done better if they could have made up their mind already. If it was the first of a series of film, or if it was a pure standalone. I think they were trying to ride in both lanes at once, and it didn't work.
And it didn't work. Okay, fair enough. And then as an adaptation?
Punt that thing into the sun! Jesus Christ, I hate it so much!
I have to write this down. Punt that thing into the sun. I hate. That's going to be in the description.
Make it the title.
Right? Wow, okay. So it was really bad then as an adaptation.
As an adaptation, it was terrible.
Really?
It was, Fullmetal Alchemist there's two versions of the anime, and I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm talking about just the manga itself. It's enormous for one thing, and it is a complex, it's intellectual, and there is so much meat to it. Making it into a movie was a gamble to begin with. And they went about it in all the wrong ways. And I am honest, there was a point when I was just like, okay, I'm gonna give it maybe. This isn't okay. That was weird, but okay. And then, no, fuck, no,
nope, done. Wow, I did not have a strong reaction to it. I watched the movie last night, and I was too tired to make notes, so I don't really have much by way of remembrance. But it was a weird movie. It felt very anime, like very. They took shots of that you would see in anime and sort of just transcribed them into live action. That said, I quite enjoyed it as it was. Now, bear in mind, I have not read the manga. I have not watched any of the anime. This is my introduction to Fullmetal Alchemist, and it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was weird. There were some parts that were really weird, and I'm just like, okay, fair enough. I'll just go along for this ride. Also, Netflix. As a general rule, I like to watch movies in their original language, so please don't start the movie off in English dub, please.
Oh, yeah. I had to switch
it
Japanese.
out. Yeah, I had to switch to Japanese and then turn on the English subtitles. Now, I'm lazy. Don't make me do it. But yeah, it took a little getting used to it because the two images the imagery they used was very European. Like, it looked like it was filmed in Tuscany. But the actors were all Japanese, which, thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for having a Japanese adaptation be performed by Japanese actors. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Maybe you could have dug a little bit harder for decent Japanese kid actors.
Aw, they were just kids, though. They were just kids.
Yeah, but there's a series I haven't watched. I should. It's on my list anyway. There's an adaptation of another manga that's called Erased. It's a live action, but it's a series, and it's all children. Apparently, they're all really good. Like, there are good child actors.
Yeah,
and especially there's a scene like when Edward goes to the Gate of Truth.
Yes.
That happens when he's a little kid, and like they're making it into a weird flashback nightmare thing to show it I think honestly because the kid that they chose to play the part of Edward couldn't carry that scene.
Oh yeah, cause so they made it into like sort of he was more of an adult when.
Yeah, so it was adult. Adult. He's 14, 15. Yeah.
Is the actor that young?
No. I don't know how old the actor is, but
he's probably like 400.
Yeah, the character at that point. The character at that point is a teenager.
Is it? Yes.
But
okay.
And he should have been. And the child who went through the character when he went through that experience was still a child.
A child. Yeah. Well, I think the way I took it at least was that all of that stuff happened when he was a child, but because he's a adult-ish person dreaming it now, he's dreaming it as himself, remembering it as himself as he is now.
I still would have liked to see that scene with the child.
Yeah,
call me picky.
You're allowed to be picky. It was convoluted and weird, and also the whole reason for not restoring his brother was convoluted and weird, because like, no, it's a human soul. I'm like, that human is already dead. He's now a rock. Like,
yeah, no, that's one of the weird changes thing.
Oh yeah.
In the original stories, from the moment the brothers realize that Philosopher's Stones are made from human souls, that countless numbers of people had to die to create even one.
Yeah.
Even an imperfect one.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we are going to find another way to restore our bodies. We are not using the Philosopher's Stones. Mm. And from then they twist the search and they continue in the research into the Philosopher's Stone, but also try to find other alchemic solutions and try to find other ways, because they are not going to use even just the soul. They won't restore their own bodies based on the suffering of someone else.
Yeah. Okay, see, that wasn't as clear in the movie.
No.
Can I just say, one of the things that struck me, and I laughed at myself for it, but the guy who plays the Colonel Mustang, first of all, Colonel Mustang, really, but Colonel Mustang,
no, that's his name.
Yeah, I know, but he appeared on screen, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's a Japanese James Blunt. So now that's all I call him. Get on with the Colonel. James Blunt, you mean? So that was my major note, was, this guy looks like James Blunt. Like, what is going on? Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Also, a lot of stuff was left hanging. I think maybe because they were hoping to be able to create a sequel.
Probably, but then they went too far.
But, like, the Lust, Gluttony, and Envy have affection for their creators. Or creator. Who the fuck was their creator? And why are they doing what they're doing? None of that's explained. Nothing. Like, they're just there to provide conflict. And there's not even an inkling. There's not even like a little tug. It's just like, we're here and this is what we do. And that annoyed me, because even if you're going to do a sequel to that film, you've got to at least imply in more than just dialogue that there's something bigger going on. Otherwise,
especially if you're gonna kill two of those three characters.
Yeah.
On screen.
Yeah, and also
in that first movie.
Yes, and also, you know, the whole Lust just wants to be human thing. That's
bullshit.
That came out of nowhere for no reason. It wasn't even hinted at earlier in the movie. You can't just throw these things in and expect them to have the emotional punch you want them to, without first at least building them up a little. That's my 2 cents on that one. It was not very well handled, those three villains. Although the idea of Gluttony with his weird ribcage mouth thing, that was weird. It's nice. It was actually, the imagery was scary when it was just the shadow, but the moment like they showed it, I was like, oh, the mystery's gone. It's not scary anymore. It's kind of funny now.
Yeah, another thing that thing that happens later in the stories than the main events that they crammed in the movie, that there were too many of them anyway, was the reveal of Gluttony and the ribcage thing, and there's a whole reason behind it, and it's this complex things like I don't know how to say this without going really deep into the manga.
Go deep. It's okay.
When you create the human transmutation, when you do the human transmutation circle, you open a portal to the white space, the room of truth with the gates and etc.
Right, yeah.
And the creator of the greed and gluttony, the homunculi, that's what they're called.
The collective homunculi.
The collective homunculi. First created gluttony as a failed version of the gate that would take him was trying to reach truth.
Oh, so that's why he opened up that way? Because he was supposed to be a gate.
And when gluttony eats the things, it doesn't end up in a physical body, it ends up in the space that was created when their father created and failed at creating that gate.
All right, which explains why he's gluttony, because he's always hungry because he doesn't actually get fed.
Exactly.
Ah,
see when I say this, the manga is deep and philosophical and thinks about a lot of things, and there's a lot of meat, and the movie is none of that.
I mean, it's very hard though, because from what I understand, the manga's quite thick. Like, there's a lot to go through.
27 volumes.
Well, yeah, and so you can't fit that into a movie, even if the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and oh my god, that was a long movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have to pick and choose your stories, and then you have the bits and create it over a longer set of movies. That was the only way.
Yeah, yeah.
Or take the characters in universe and spin a different thing entirely.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what they do when they create the animated movies. Usually when anime series go well, sometimes they create movies, and those movies are spin-offs, sort of. They create
like separate side stories.
Side stories, yeah.
Yeah. See, that would have been a better way to do it.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I did like how they set Colonel Mustang, Asian James Blunt, to be a villain, and it turned out it wasn't actually him. I enjoyed that. I also was thinking that the guy who ended up being killed by the Colonel Mustang doppelganger, who was actually Envy. Oh, what's his name? Captain. Captain.
No, he's not the
Captain Overly Cheerful. That dude.
Hughes.
Yeah, Captain Huge. Yeah, Huge.
Mace Hughes.
Captain Hughes. Hughes. That's how you spell Hugh, right? Hughes? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That dude. I thought he was being set up to be the villain as well. I'm like, there's no way somebody is that cheerful and helpful all the damn time. Apparently there is.
Yeah.
Apparently he was just a good guy.
Yeah, it's the two options. It's, I mean, it was meant to be that cheerful and that happy, and that's usually either he's going to turn up to be a double agent villain sighting, or it's a giant dead flag. And in this case, it was the dead flag.
Yeah. It's either he's actually a villain or he's dead. Pick one. And it turned out he was, spoiler alert, dead.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler for every version of Fullmetal Alchemist that exists in all of eternity. Hughes never survives.
Oh, poor bastard. So, yeah, you were saying in the break that we just took that Colonel Mustang and Captain Hughes were supposed to be best friends.
They're supposed to be best friends.
Okay, so I got that they were friends in the movie, but not best friends, and that's unfortunate because it would have made Captain Hughes's death and then Colonel Mustang's response to that death all the more emotional. They missed a lot of cues or a lot of beats that could have upped the emotional level of this movie so much. And if you're going to kill off a good character, make sure that there are people in his periphery who would be absolutely devastated by the loss, and they didn't get that across from this movie. No. I loved the costumes, though. Can I say Asian James Blunt looked amazing in that getup? Like, the uniforms were gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I want a coat like that.
You can probably find one.
Probably.
It's pretty close to the general anime look, too, so there's probably cosplaying stores or
or something.
Fan places that sell something
similar. Oh, they were beautiful. I want that military style jacket. That specific cut. I don't know what it was about it. I loved it.
It's a nice jacket.
It's a really great coat. That's the second takeaway from this movie. Never mind the story. The coat. The military coats are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Although you can get that from the anime too, so please save yourself.
Yeah. the scientist who... So the alchemist who hypnotizes Al.
Yeah, Tucker.
Tucker! Thank you. I kind of liked his character. I don't know what the hell happened. There was no hint until you saw the dog-daughter hybrid thing that he was anything awful.
That was actually
fairly close
to the story.
Really? Well, no, I mean, I get that. I get the turning him into a villain thing. Actually, to be perfectly honest, it was one of the better handled ones. Because of
until the point where it's revealed that he was still working for the military, that they break him out of jail, and that he was working on the Philosopher's Stones and creating the zombie army. He wasn't
exactly working for the military. He was working for the major dude who ended up, releasing all those homunculi and then
spoiler
by whatever.
That was it's not just one major in the military.
Really? There's a whole bunch of them? Oh. So in the movie there was just that one dude who got eaten by his own homunculi. Yes, I'm your papa.
Yeah. Those giant zombie things that were supposed to be the second to last boss in the game that is that series, and they get introduced in that first movie. Still nonsense.
Well, yeah, and then they all get killed anyway.
Yeah. There is no sense of the dramatic build-up.
Yeah, that's it. It was missing so much of the build-up. For such a long movie, there was so much missing that it made the beats off. They didn't hit as well as they should have. Like, for example, Colonel Mustang's affection for his lieutenant, who was, I've just learned, apparently a war veteran sharpshooter sniper lady. Mm-hmm. I forget her name too.
Hawkeye.
Lieutenant Hawkeye. That was kind of sort of hinted at when he took the friggin' extending nail of lust for his lieutenant. But again, you don't really see any of that build-up, so you're just like, nah, okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't care.
I think they were hammering a little bit to make something more obvious that was present, but much more subtle over the entire 27 volumes of the manga.
Yeah, you have to... I think for romance, especially, for any romantic subplot, there has to be some build-up. And they're missing that with Colonel Mustang and Lieutenant Hawkeye. They were missing the whole friendship angle of Captain Hughes and Colonel Mustang. Mm-hmm. I'm really glad you're on this panel, by the way, because you know the manga and I simply do not. Which would have made Hughes' death so much more emotional. Mm-hmm. And I still don't understand lust, envy, and gluttony. And I don't know. I mean, the plan for world domination is meh. I mean, every villain ever, right?
Oh, you don't even know the good plan for world domination.
Well, I might go buy the manga now, because the premise is interesting enough. And some of the characters were interesting enough. Like, I really did like, for what I saw of them, Mustang and Hawkeye. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen more of them. Like, never mind Fullmetal Alchemist. Can we see them in action? Like, just have a spin-off movie about them. That's cool. And I really liked...
Poor Ed. Nobody likes him.
Poor who?
Head. The Fullmetal. His name is Edward.
Oh, Edward? Oh, well, I didn't mind Edward. I mean, I know he's the protagonist. He's supposed to be a cocky little SOB. Which, he kind of was. But also with a good heart. He's doing everything to try and fix the mistake he thinks he made when he was a kid. Trying to bring his brother's body... Oh my god, body back. So that the soul is no longer just a walking tin can, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, as far as protagonists go, he's fine. He's okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's like every other young protagonist. Sort of basically got a good heart, but he's cocky and makes a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he's fine. I don't hate him. Don't love him.
I don't know if you get as much of a sense of how much of a genius
No, you
Prodigy is, and that's
you
that's
don't get
its
a sense
defining characteristics.
Yeah. They mention it, but you don't see it, so it really, again, has no impact on you. Like, none. Which is annoying. I really look for emotional impact in my stories. It's almost above plot, unless the plot is absolutely horrific. I can usually forgive most plots if they hit the right beats. This movie did not. It sort of was out of rhythm for almost all of them. So yeah. But it was still, for me at least, because I don't know the manga, it was still fun to watch. Maybe I'll watch it again when I'm less exhausted. But yeah, it wasn't terrible for me. I enjoyed it. I'm not really sad about the 2 hours and 20 minutes that I spent last night watching it. Because, I wasn't going to be doing anything anyway, so I may as well just turn on a movie. But yeah, it wasn't spectacular either. Which is a shame, because the premise is really good. If they turned it maybe into a live-action series rather than a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been better.
But I guess I wonder how they would have justified that kind of time and expense when there are already 2
because
series version, 2
yeah,
animes.
but they're not live action.
Yeah,
right?
no, they're not live action.
And for people who get turned off for some reason about animation, maybe that might have been better for them. I would have watched a live action TV series of this, especially if I get to explore the characters more. So yeah, that's my thought. It's fine as far as movies go. It's fine. I do like that it was all done in Japanese though.
Yeah, that is a couple of good things.
Although it was really weird seeing all of these Japanese people in very European settings and costumes. I'm like, oh, well, okay.
I wonder if that was meant because the costume design, all of the character names, one thing will be English.
Yeah, or
all of the costume designs and the turn of the century European feel. That's all listed from
the
manga.
Yeah. See, I knew that about the manga. Like, I knew it was very European sort of setting and appearance. Yeah. But yeah, it was still really weird to see it in live action. Like, is that Italy? Are we in Italy? What is going on? So yeah, that's my thought. Star rating.
As a movie, I can give it maybe 2 stars because it doesn't completely suck. There are a couple of the setting, even if it's weirdly European, is nice to look at. Yeah, the costumes are nice.
Costumes are gorgeous.
As an adaptation, it's like -5. I am so angry at it.
Yeah, so for myself...
How dare you?
You bastards. Go sit in a corner and think about what you've done, Netflix. For myself, I'm giving it 2.5. Honestly, the half star is just because I was so amused at myself for equating Colonel Mustang with James Blunt. That's honestly the reason. It made me giggle every time. That's the reason for that extra half star. It wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't great. It's not something I would buy for myself. It's free on Netflix. Well, free. It's part of your subscription on Netflix, so I don't know. Give it a watch. See if you like it. Alright, would you like to pick the next one?
Okay. Captain America!
Yay! This is actually one of my favorites of the introductions to the Avengers. So, yeah, next week, we will be reviewing Captain America. Oh my god.
You are tired.
I am exhausted. If you have any thoughts about the 2017 adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist, leave them down in the comments below. I lurk sometimes, so I might respond. And if you have any suggestions for other movies, do leave them in the comments below as well. Put them in the bowl. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much, guys.
Okay. Recording. And recording.
And recording. Yay! Look at us. Okay.
You are all set. You go, girls.